Hey, what's up? Hello, it's me, Vexy Sky, and in today's video we're going to be talking about 5 emo albums slash EPs that I personally really enjoy. Now, this is, in my opinion, what I consider to be emo music-wise, and also I'm considering bands that are post-hardcore to be part of this list as well. Also, few rules with this. I only chose one album slash EP per artist. And before we get to the video as well, I would like to mention the fact that for the last video for the top 5 all-time favorite bands, I kind of just rushed through it, sort of, maybe a little bit. Well, I never gave you tied numbers for it, and I would tie number 3 with Flyleaf. But without further ado, let us begin. Also, with this list, the bands will not be in any particular order, so with that, let us begin. At number 5, we have Skyscrapers Walk Among Us, and it's going to be their first EP titled Skyscrapers Walk Among Us. And with this one, it was a little weird, I guess, because they have an album out titled something different, but it has all the same exact songs from the EP recorded exactly the same way, with just 3, I believe 2 or 3 added little instrumental tracks. So I decided to choose the EP because it already had the songs the same way as they are on the album, and yeah, I didn't really care for the instrumental pieces. It just didn't really fit the theming for it. 4. So for number 4, this one was kinda difficult for me with this band, between choosing their first album over their first EP. And for this list, I decided to go with their first album. Number 4 is Escape the Fates, Dying is Your Latest Fashion. I love this album. This album's a very good album. I would consider it, I think, a slightly more emo than their first EP. But their first EP is still really rocky and really emo. But I think that with the first album, with the song list and the songs that there is on the album, they have a more emo vibe to me. So yeah. Number 3. For number 3, I have chosen a band called Paddock Park, and I chose their one and only album, A Hiding Place for Fake Friends. And if you guys don't know who Paddock Park is, I highly suggest you go look up Paddock Park, and also all the rest of the bands on this list. And just like in the last video, I will leave in the description below all the list of these albums and the list of these bands. But yeah, I highly suggest you check out all of these bands. Paddock Park, very good band, very good album, and this album really influenced me in the more recent years, as in how I play guitar, as well as a little bit of vocally. Deuces. We have Saosin's Translating the Name. Now this album, well, this EP by far has had the most or second the most influence on what I view and or deem as emo music. With all the guitar work, the more so metal style drumming that's more driving, more intense, and with the vocals, how they're higher pitched, and with the screamy, shouty thingamabobbers that he does. I consider that more so what emo is, or at least that's more so my favorite style of emo. It has that chaotic feel to it most of the time, but at the same time it sounds really pretty, really beautiful with the leads and everything in there. So yeah, number 2 is Translating the Name from Saosin. One One is Blessthefall-his Last Walk. Now, this album right here, man. Let me tell you, I love this album a lot. This album is what got me more into what is the emo genre. Now, I was already, back in the day in junior high, I was already emo as fuck. Let's be honest. But musically, I wasn't really into the emo style and scene until I heard Saosin's first EP, and then Funeral for a Friend. And then it wasn't until I heard Blessthefall-his Hinye for the first time. It was Hinye, and I believe it was Take Me Now. The first two songs I ever heard from Blessthefall was Take Me Now, and then the second one was Hinye. Third song was Rise Up, and then the rest is history. It all fell into the album, and I would say that this album, with translating the name as well, really pushed what I viewed as emo and what I wanted this genre to kind of be. So this album, and with translating the name, is really what got me into more so doing emo style singing and screaming. Now, originally I got into wanting to be a rock star and shit because of Linkin Park, but I never could pull off Chester Bennington. No one could ever pull off Chester Bennington but Chester Bennington. Anyways, these guys kinda really cemented what I wanted to sing like and what I wanted to scream like. I would personally say that I sound the closest to Craig Mabbitt when I sing, because I've been doing this first album from Blessthefall for years now, ever since I first heard it back in junior high. This is probably the one album from a band that I can listen to repeatedly without getting tired of it, for years now, over 10 years now. But yeah. So there's a lot of bands that I actually had to leave off the list, and this list would have gone for hours probably on end. I can talk about my favorite emo albums and emo EPs forever, and it was really hard to actually compile it down to just 5 for this video, but I will most likely, obviously, do a few more parts to this, because as I just stated, there's so many albums and so many EPs that I would consider emo that I love and want to talk about. Now with that, I'm gonna let you guys be. Rawr. If you guys like this video and want to see some more content like this, some more musical content, some more emo related, anything stuff, why don't you just like the video, subscribe, share it with all your friends, and yeah, thanks for watching. Ow!